Hi guys, holographic dreamers, welcome. Today I have kind of a surprising product to go in depth with you. It's the Bose AR, so Bose Frame, and it's a speaker inside glasses. And it's more than that. So when they put the AR label in there, I thought it was a joke and that there was nothing really important about it. It was just like making off of something for branding, and because they have it in the glasses and it's stereo, it will be AR. Actually, they have a very pretty extensive SDK and really nice, well done and well built tools to create an app for that device. So let's go in depth with this. We're going to start by looking at the hardware, and then we'll go into the development kit and the software. Let's start with the hardware. So it comes with a nice little box. It's actually all solid and it's pretty sturdy. I'm not gonna push it. And it opens with a little magnet. And inside that box, you have the glasses. I put this inside so I don't lose it. I'll come back to it in a second. So those are the glasses. Those glasses. Let me remove those glasses. And they're really light. Compared to those, they're very, very light. And you can feel almost like normal glasses. You don't really feel the weight when you wear them. And you have different size, so I got a size that actually fits me really well. I can run with it and walk, and it's very, very comfortable. So you only have one button on it, which is this little button here. You press it to start, to turn them on, and then they connect to your phone. It comes with an app called Plus Bose. I think it's an app to cover most of the Bose product. So we're going to go over a little bit on that app. Okay, so now we're in the Bose Frame app. The Bose app. And it detects the frame automatically. If not, it lets you choose between different products to find the one that you're looking for if you have multiple Bose products in your house or in your office. And when you select, there's very few kind of like level of settings. It's very light. You can change the name of the device, the Bluetooth connection, and as well as the standby timer. So by default, that's interesting. They're set up to never go in standby. So I'm not sure exactly why. I put it 20 minutes to see if it would improve battery life. Not that the battery life is really bad, but it was a surprise to me. And that's all that comes with the app. After, when you install the app and you have the Bose, they work. They pair really well with the phone, and they work like a general speaker, so you can play music and actually have some nice audio in your headset. So one of the things that's interesting when you play the audio through those glasses is you have those little speakers, and there's more than one. So there's those outside. I suppose they're for noise cancelling, and there's those inside here. And so there's three speakers on each side that are getting closer to you here. So you can see those. They're pretty close in terms of directions to my ears, and then those additional one here. And I'm not sure how this one is. I would assume it's for detecting outside noise for creating noise cancellation. Overall, the sound quality is pretty good, and I've been listening to podcasts and listening to music with it when I was running or when I was walking, and it works pretty well. Where I got a difficulty with is the level of audio. The audio level is pretty low. I have to put my Android phone to the max and beyond the max that they push, where they give you a little warning about it's too loud and it's too dangerous. And even with that, I'm on the max. When I was in the car with everything open, I couldn't hear the music, and I could probably hear the music, but I couldn't hear the podcast. I couldn't make sense of what people were talking on the podcast. So that would be one of my criticisms, is there's no way to boost the volume outside of what the device you have gives you. So maybe on iOS it works better. I didn't have time to try that, and maybe they have a better management of the audio there. So that's one thing that I would not roll out. But on the Android one and with the Samsung phone, the audio was really low, and it was sometimes annoying because they're sunglasses, so they're made to be outside with. So if you're outside, it's noisy. You have to expect the noise and get that outside noise not being covered because it's not over your ear. So you hear the outside noise, and then you have the conflict with the Bose audio that goes in there. So the low was pretty low overall. The other, and that's the very most positive things, is when you wear it, as you don't have something in your ear or over your ear, you can hear people around you. And when people talk to you, you can actually react and still have the audio. It's a little bit like if you have a speaker in the room and you're talking with someone. So it gives that same feeling of integration of the audio in your space instead of you being isolated into your own world, cannot hear anything from the outside. So yeah, I had hoped that there was more control on the device, like maybe if that's noise cancelling, a way of turning it off and on, but I don't think it is. Or if there's a way to just boost the volume from the device and not rely on exactly on what the hardware gave us. So that's for the hardware. That's for the audio part of the glasses, which is already good. For the price of it, you can get like a good speaker, and it's not as intrusive as something to put in your ear. So if you're something against putting something in your ear, fashion-wise or just physical, this is a really great alternative for that part of it. So yeah, they have two models. This is one of them. They have another one a bit more round, and I think maybe they'll come up with new, but that's where we are at now. So what I'm going to go next and what I'm excited about, because, one other thing before on the hardware side. The build is good, like I said, it feels really nice and very light. One drawback, I don't know if it's drawback positive, that's why I put that always in the box with me, is you have this special plug here, and that's what charges the device and connect the device to the PC if you need to do something with it. So it goes like this. Oops. So you can see here. You plug it like that, and it goes like that. So basically, that's the thing you need to have around you if you want to keep charging the glasses. Battery life, decent. Not as impressive as those guys, for example. Those guys can last me 16 hours. And those, after a few hours, I'll say half a day, I was pretty much out of battery. So a little bit less, but still I think for speakers, decent for earbud speakers. One thing I didn't do either is take a phone call with it. So that would be maybe for the next time. I didn't try that part and if it's actually good or not. But I would assume it worked well. The other one last things on the device, just as they are without the SDK itself. If you double click and hold on this one, you can call your assistant on your phone. So you can configure it with Alexa, Google. I have Cortana on the phone, and I also have there was a fourth one. Bixby, the one from a Samsung, basically. So you can choose the one you want, and when you do that, I think it's press and hold or double press, you at that point get into talking to the glasses and getting answers from your device assistant. So it goes through the phone, but you get all the power of what you have in your regular assistants to get answers or questions or information about where you are or directions. So all those elements, that alone makes that device really compelling. Like all those earplugs that you can call your assistant from, makes like this little interactions really good. So it's a standard, you would expect that, but it is there and it's working. The microphone picks it up pretty well. So I think that's all on the glasses themselves I can share and talk about. Other than that, they look like regular glasses. Nobody would guess you have an AR headset. With that said, in terms of the part of the AR, so I was, like I said, really not into believing them that there was any AR in this until I just downloaded the SDK and give it a try. So I'm going to show you a little bit of their documentation. So you have to register on their website, and on that website you're going to go into, here we go. So the Bose website is surprisingly complete, and their software development kit is actually very extensive compared to what I was taught. So they get you started in into this Get Inspired, where you have a few examples of apps that you can install and try. I think I tried one of them, I forgot which one. So those are custom apps that would work just for the Bose and take advantage of the speaker and the capabilities of that device as an AR device. So why they call it AR? First, because the audio, the way it's designed, is augmented reality. So it means that the audio is not, you're not isolated, it's not a speaker inside your ear. You're actually, in terms of volume, you can hear from the outside. So it mixes the real and the virtual, which is the virtual source of audio. The other part that's also, which I think can define in AR, is that there's sensors in there. There's 6 degrees of freedom, gyroscope, accelerometer. So there's a number of devices and sensor in there that can give them 6 degrees of freedom, and they call it also 9 degrees of freedom. I still not have figured out what 9 degrees of freedom is for them, but the 6 degrees of freedom kind of give you some kind of info. It felt more like 3 degrees of freedom overall, I would say, from the demo I tried, and we'll go over them in a second. But so there's an additional sensor in there to give you a sense of augmented reality. So in theory, you can actually walk and get some motion in terms of different elements. So really 6 degrees of freedom. That's what they're aiming for. So you can get to the SDK, and they have a number of SDK there. And what they call the Bose AR SDK, it's not just for that device. There's like 2 other devices that support it. And the one I tried is the Unity AR SDK. And also, before, as we're on the website, before going to the Unity screen, I want to show you guys how extensive that documentation is. And I was really surprised how they're taking this really, really seriously. They have like a lot of expectation for this, obviously. And what I see there is that in this, like you can see now, there's all those sensors and IMU, and how they want to make it integrated. So that include also gesture, like movement gestures with your head, tapping on the side of the device, sort of pressing the button, and yeah, and all that gyroscope and 6 degrees of freedom. With that, coupled with spatial audio, you can get something actually fairly compelling. So let's go into what they give us to get started with, and how complex it is to code for that device. So let's go to the Unity now, and let's take a little bit of information from there. Okay, so I installed the most recent version of Unity that I could find that was official, and then I downloaded from their page the SDK, and they have like 3D model as well as video to show the simple gestures that you can do, and how you can prepare yourself to recalibrate the device. So they have like a lot of support and document. The SDK itself, let's go over it a little bit, and it's pretty interesting. I like it. There is a lot of example. You can so actually it's mainly example, but there's a lot of example. There's a lot of prefab also for you to work with. So if you go from the examples, for example, there's a general demo, then there's a key prefab that you can find there. And the one I spent a fair amount of time in is, and because it's the one that gets installed automatically when you go into the tools, Bose wearable, and you said built wearable demo. So that just creates for your target device, either iOS or Android. It will create an APK for myself. I tried on the Android. And it'll create this app with all the samples already running. And that was just great. I mean, just great that you can load the things, and in 10 minutes you have all the samples going, and then you can go back to the source of those samples. So let's go over the apps, the sample app that comes with that SDK, and how it builds, and it's easy. And then from there, we'll dig a little bit more into it and see what it provides in terms of features, and where are those features into Unity. So let's go into that. So let me put the glasses. If you put the glasses upside down, they will just turn off. So let me turn them back on. And let me start. There we go. So now we're gonna record from the. Here we go. So that's the app. When it starts, it's trying to connect. So it's trying to find the device. Initially, it took time to connect, and we'll see how long it's going to take this time. And okay, he found it. Selecting it. Okay. The touch detection is a bit weird, so if you see me tapping multiple times, don't freak out. This touch. And we are still trying to connect. Oh, that didn't work. Let me start again. Let me see if maybe that's why they never go to sleep. and where do you have this element? There we go. Make sure that everything is all charged and 100%. Like I said, it took me a couple of times to get it connected. And last time, here we go. We are connected. So I'm going to go directly to the advanced demo. There's a simple demo that shows the frame and how they work. But I'm going to the advanced demo because that's the one that I found really compelling. And then I'll show you the gesture as well, which was fairly interesting. So it's asking me to stand still and look forward. Okay, I think I'm done. Okay, so as you can see, here you see this sphere, and as I'm turning, there's this little projector that turns. And what I hear in the headset, unfortunately I cannot record that. What I hear in the headset is a sense of where that yellow ball is. So if I start looking, here it is, and as I get and my gaze get closer to it, I actually can collect it. So then there's another one that should come. I'm not hearing it, so I'm getting a little bit of hint. Oh, it's actually behind me. That's going to take forever. So I'm going to go around. Oh, I can hear it now. Here it is. I hear it more. I think I got it. No. Oh, there's another one. So basically that's the game. And that example, I found it very compelling because it takes you into the spatial, use all the features of Unity to get into understanding the where things are and how to take advantage of positioning object in space, and actually how to manage the audio in a way that the users can actually perceive things in space through the device. So I think when I saw that, I said, yeah, actually that fit the definition. I agree. This is an AR headset, pure audio AR headset, but it is an AR headset. So very excited. And now let's go back into the code and look into more detail what that entails. So I'm going to stop that recording. Okay, so let's go back into Unity and look a little bit about that advanced demo we're showing. So this is the scene that's open, and there's a fair amount of a high-level element in there. And I'm going to show you basically how this is designed. It's fairly simple. First, they use the orientation widget that comes with the SDK that will manage and attach the orientation to, you attach that prefab to an object, and from there that object will be controlled in terms of the rotation and its positioning. And you can set up the frame rate, the interval update rate. There's a number of those. It can be pretty small, to 20 milliseconds up to 320 milliseconds. I left it to the default, it worked well. And so that, and after there's all those different elements, they're more about the UI of how it works. And then there's the game controller. And that's where I think it's another part of the system that they provide, where you can set up your wearable requirement. And here, the only thing they really need is gyroscope to be able to orient our head and look around. So there's no like 9 DOF rotation or 6 DOF rotation. There's no gesture. Oh, I forgot to show gesture. There's no gesture enabled in this one, neither than double tap and enable tap. So now, the other part that was interesting in this is let me try to find it again. I think it's one of the prefab here. Oops, no, not that one. Here it is, the target prefab. So that's the one that was interesting, that has all the information that I really got excited about. Is in that prefab, you see all the audio cues, their levels and how they work, and the different scripts that enable you to control that system of audio. So all the code is pretty much here from target prefab, and at that point in time, we can just dissect that and get a really good sense on how to create more spatial experiences using the frame glasses. So I think I'm going to just show you, last thing is the gesture. So that's a little bit of forth and back into a lot of apps in terms of those experiences. But so those are the key elements in creating that demo I just showed you about looking at the circle. After there's all the game mechanic, I'm not going to go around. I'll just show you what's relevant to the frame glasses, okay? So orienting the target, so the target FX, and all the scripts for controlling that, as well as the game controller to get the elements and the elements of the advanced for the demo control. And also, don't forget to put an orientation widget. So those are the key elements. There might be more. I didn't build that demos from scratch. I don't know. Okay, so I want to show you one more simple app, which is the gesture control. So there's gesture. They're trying to make it device agnostic. So we're gonna go over them. So I'm reconnecting my app, my sample app that comes from the SDK. And again, yeah, that's very convenient to be able to have a fully working set of demos for getting started as a developer. I think those are very useful. And in this case, having like all the process for connecting and everything, all that UI already there, gives you a really good start to start any application you want to do. So let's go into gesture demo. So as you can see, there is a double tap. I think it's here. Let me do it again. Yeah, it works. So it's shaking the glasses. That's how it's been detected. If I do it very smoothly, there's nothing. Like very small tap. It's not going to do anything. I have to really like. There you go. Then there's another gesture, which is up and down. So yes. Doesn't work all the time. And the one I'm not even able to really get going is this one. Oh, now I can make it go. So those are gesture and for the detection. So not really impressed compared to the spatial audio and the detections and all the tools that I provide. But let's go into the Unity and confirm that we have all the tools in there for doing that. So in Unity, I'm going to load the sample app that we just saw. So you can see here. So that's the gesture demo sample scene. And basically everything is pretty much into that script. I need to dig more into it, but from what I see, it's all happening into the gesture demo UI panel. And into that script, it's calling a fair amount of gesture code related to that. So actually, I think I need to switch. There we go. And start. There we go. So I think you can see, hopefully. So this is the code for the gesture demo UI panel. It's calling this here private wearable control. That seems to have a lot of information related to those gesture and the detection of the gesture. So it's fairly simple in terms of the detection itself. The quality of detection probably will need to be improved from their side, but overall I think it's a good try. And you can see from the code here and look at it that it's very abstract. So they're trying to get us something very agnostic to the device. So not only the frame, but probably a lot of those future Bose headset will probably use that AR capabilities by adding gyroscope and other detection data. So to conclude, I would say that as a audio speaker, it's decent. The volume is a bit low to my taste. I wish there would be a way to make it stronger, and maybe there's a way to do it with the iOS. And the SDK with it is very inspiring. There's so many applications that don't need visuals in augmented reality that can be done just with audio, and there's so many applications in general consumer. And bringing to the market a device like that really works and it's for consumer at a good price tag is very compelling, and I think it has a lot of potential. So I think surprisingly, Bose probably might be the first to have a widely distributed AR headset, and that would be a great surprise. And I'm really impressed by the quality of their SDK. I was surprised, I was not expecting that, and that is fully functional and full of example. It works on iOS, it works on Android. And you have native software development kit as well. So I think they're making a very impressive play here, and they're taking that very seriously. So I like it. I think that it's a great first step. I'm looking forward for applications that will come with it, and I got already inspired to create a few of those. So that's exciting. So guys, thank you for following and getting to the end of this. And holographic groomers, follow AfterNow on YouTube.